Come closer. I want to tell you about a morning when the world changed. Not through conquest or catastrophe, no. This transformation came through marble and mathematics, through the audacious belief that human hands could touch the divine. Let me take you to a hilltop in Athens, where scaffolding reaches toward heaven and the future is being carved, one perfect stone at a time. It is dawn, 440 BCE, and the Acropolis rises from the city like a sacred island floating above a sea of red-tiled roofs. Against the crystalline blue of the Attic sky, wooden scaffolding climbs the bones of what will become the Parthenon, temple to Athena, monument to democracy, and humanity's most perfect argument with gravity. The air tastes of marble dust and olive oil, of incense drifting up from the city below and the sharp salt wind that carries ships from Piraeus into the harbor. Somewhere in those wooden frameworks, suspended between earth and sky, stonemasons are already at work, their bronze chisels ringing against Pentelic marble that glows like captured sunlight. This is the story of an impossible dream made stone. But what happens when a city believes so deeply in its own perfection that it builds a temple to match its ambition? What price does glory exact from those who dare to touch the divine? For 15 years, Athens will pour its soul into this hill, its silver, its genius, its sacred hope that democracy and beauty might be the same thing. And for 15 years, the gods will smile. Until they do not. At the center of it all stands Pericles, not born to rule, but born to dream dangerously. His enemies call him the Olympian for his arrogance, and perhaps they are not wrong. This is a man who looks at the ruined temples left by Persian invasion 30 years past, and sees not scars, but opportunity. We will build something, he tells the assembly, his voice carrying across the agora like prophecy, that makes the Persians' destruction look like preparation. Beside him works Ictinus, the architect who dreams in perfect proportions, and Phidias, the sculptor whose hands can make marble breathe. But it is Pericles who holds the vision, Athens as the school of Hellas, the city that teaches the world what human beings might become. In the marble quarries of Mount Pentelicus, 20 miles northeast of the city, slaves and citizens work side by side, cutting blocks that will outlive empires. Each stone is selected for its grain, its color, the way sunlight moves through its crystalline heart. The marble is loaded onto ox-drawn carts that groan their way along dusty roads, through olive groves where Athena's sacred trees shimmer silver in the morning light. In the city below, bronze foundries work day and night, casting the precise tools that will shape perfection, chisels, calipers, plumb lines, the great bronze crane that will lift column drums weighing 15 tons each. The Athenian treasury flows like water, silver from Laurium's mines, tribute from the Delian League, the wealth of an empire financing humanity's most beautiful gamble. Philosophers gather in the painted stoa, debating whether beauty has mathematical laws. Playwrights rehearse tragedies in the theater of Dionysus, their voices echoing off stone seats carved into the hillside. And everywhere, the sound of hammers on bronze, of chisels on marble, of a civilization building its own immortality. But perfection demands sacrifice, and Athens begins to feel the weight of its ambition. The temple's cost soars beyond all estimates, not just in silver, but in the lives consumed by the work. Men fall from scaffolding, are crushed by shifting stones, succumb to the marble dust that fills their lungs like powdered stars. In the assembly, voices rise in protest. "We have adorned our city," shouts the politician Thucydides, not the historian, but Pericles' great rival, like a vain woman, with precious stones and statues and temples worth millions. The allied cities of the Delian League send angry delegations, their tribute silver, meant for defense against Persia, poured instead into Athenian marble and gold. Sparta watches, always watching. The rigid warriors of the Peloponnese see Athens' cultural flowering as decadence, democracy as chaos, the Parthenon as hubris demanding divine punishment. The Athenians, King Archidamus tells his council, mistake luxury for strength. And then comes the morning when it happens, 438 BCE, the 15th year of construction. The last block of marble slides into place on the eastern pediment. The scaffolding comes down like the curtain rising on a play. The Parthenon stands revealed. Not just a temple, but geometry made sacred. Not just architecture, but democracy carved in stone. In that moment, beneath the eternal blue of the Attic sky, humanity declares itself capable of perfection. And the gods, perhaps, begin to laugh. The dedicatory procession winds up the sacred way, citizens, slaves, foreigners, all equal in their wonder. Phidias' great gold and ivory statue of Athena gleams in the temple's heart, her shield reflecting light that dances across walls of perfect marble. But here is what no one expected. Perfection, once achieved, becomes a burden. The Parthenon's beauty makes Athens a target, its glory an offense to every rival city. The very marble that proclaims Athenian greatness becomes evidence of Athenian theft, allied silver transformed into enemy propaganda. Within a generation, plague will empty Athens' streets, war will drain her treasury, and the democracy that built the Parthenon will vote to execute its own greatest generals. Pericles himself will die of the plague, his golden age lasting barely 30 years. Yet something endures beyond the politics and the blood. The Parthenon becomes more than Athens ever imagined, not just a temple to one goddess, but a shrine to human possibility. For 24 centuries, pilgrims will climb that hill, seeking not Athena, but proof that mortals can touch perfection and live to tell the tale. The golden age of Athens lasted barely a generation, but it cast a shadow, or perhaps a light, that reaches across millennia. Democracy, philosophy, tragedy, comedy, history itself as we understand it, all flowering in one city, in one brief and shining moment when humanity believed it could build heaven on earth. The scaffolding is long gone now, of course. 24 centuries of weather, war, and human carelessness have taken their toll. The Parthenon stands wounded, its marble scarred by Venetian cannon fire, its sculptures scattered across museums in distant lands. But on certain mornings, when the light strikes the marble just so, you can still see it. The dream made stone. The scaffolding that once reached toward heaven, carrying the hopes of a city that dared to believe in its own perfection. And perhaps that is enough. To have reached once, for something beyond ourselves. To have built beauty that outlasts the builders.